All right, Natalie. Let's shout out to the old school. Welcome to 106 in Park. Welcome to Yo MTV Raps. Whatever it is, whatever. See, y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about it.
106 in Park, they don't know about that. You speak in another language.
I know another language. Welcome to
free,
Spotify.
though? Am I free?
How about that? Welcome to Spotify. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to, in all seriousness, welcome to Sirius XM Channel 85 and Brother from Another. Wherever you're viewing, listening, Peacock TV, consuming this product, we appreciate you, your family. We love you. And spread the word. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, your sons, your daughters, cousins, aunties, uncles, everybody about Brother from Another. So, Natalie, you're here, and I want you... See, I spent some time earlier today kind of annotating. I was annotating every lyric, every line from Dame. Say, okay, what is that? Okay, that's nice. That's just in there for some... That's some ear candy. Ooh, but wait a minute. This means something. Let's go back. You probably did the same thing. What does Farewell, the latest release, hot release from Dame Lillard, mean to you?
I mean, for one, he's just so dramatic. Like, he's just dramatic. Like, I mean, I don't want to like discount leaving an organization that you've been with for all the time that he has. What is it, 11 years? But Dame, he's just very melodramatic, in my opinion. It's like, of course, you're going to be sad. I'm sure you've built a lot of relationships there. But I just feel like he's sending shots at the Blazers. And I'm not saying that the Blazers were perfect in this scenario, but I feel like there's just a lot of... I just feel like Dame gets this thing that irks me that other players don't. It's like he can do no wrong no matter what. So like somehow, even though he's being sent to a contender, right? You know, he's saying all this stuff in his lyrics, they're the ones who chose another mission. It's like, bro, you requested a trade. You requested a trade. And I mean, you had to, and I think people have been telling you to, but I don't think, like, look, Portland is not like this free agent destination, okay? It's been reported that him and Giannis wanted to play together for a long time, but neither wanted to budge on where they went. That's because neither is Milwaukee, right? So you both played in destinations that free agents are not screaming to go to, like they're not like running to get there. There's only so much the Blazers could do to try to get you more help. So do I think that they were like the greatest? No, but I also don't think that they did you like incredibly dirty, and they had to do what was best for their org. But in my opinion, Michael, I think that this is a very good deal, what they did. They're sending him to a contender. They're sending him to play with Giannis. Apparently, according to our friend of the show, Mark Spears, his agent made it known to the Bucks that he would be open to going there when it didn't seem like Miami was going to come through. So they sent you to maybe not your number one destination, but probably to a better chance to win. This is a win-win to me. What do you think, Michael?
Well, listen, Natalie, I hate to take it to 5 mics and 5 stars and get into the ratings. You don't know about that either. Source Magazine. Shout out Source, shout out Vibe, all the old school hip hop magazines.
Double XL, don't forget that one.
Okay, of course. So
I used to intern there, so
before we get into all that, I have gone too far. Let me just go back a little bit and just ask you, in a rating system of 5 mics, shout out Rakim. All right, so a rating system of 5 microphones. What are we doing with Dame's bars? How we feel about the bars? Forget about whether you agree with it or not. Flow, just rhyme scheme. What we got here?
I mean, I do think Dame is a solid lyricist and rapper. So we'll give him.
Me too.
I'll give him a 4. I do. Like I think he has some bars. I give him a 4. Yeah, for sure. He's definitely not whack. Like he's not like Shaq and others back in the day who tried to rhyme. He's not like others. I'll just leave it there.
You think Shaq? You thought Shaq was whack? You said he was whack.
I mean,
huh?
I didn't think he was great, but there have been others who probably are not as great either. So he's not the only one. I probably didn't need to single out Shaq.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want that other hive coming for me if I call out the other one. So I'm gonna just.
Shaq's got a hive. I didn't know he had one.
No, another one. Leave it at that.
Okay, another one. I would say, I agree with you. I agree with you, Natalie. A couple things before I get into Dame and his little shade at the Warriors. I mean, at the Blazers. I think the Blazers deserve 5 mics.
Oh,
I never say this. When you trade
5
great players,
mics. I don't think people understand what a 5 mic rating is. Please give them a little historical context.
The best. Okay, that's the best they could have done. They made a great trade, and you usually don't. When you trade great players, you usually lose. It's just that's what makes them. They're so great. So a lot of teams they will pull this, they'll pull that, and they'll have a lot of names on the list. It's like, yeah, we traded for this guy, that guy, and that guy. And you go, okay, great. You put all those players together, you still don't have anybody like Dame Lillard. And I'm not saying they got Dame Lillard in return, but they did get a guy who averaged 18 and 10 last year that Phoenix didn't want, and DeAndre Ayton. So he's an 18 and 10 guy, really good player. They got a bunch of first-round picks from Milwaukee. Maybe that doesn't mean anything this year. It will in a couple of years. Dame's 33. I don't know. When Dame starts to decline a bit, what does that mean for Giannis? I don't know. Then they also have Drew Holiday, who they will turn around and flip for another, couple first-round picks. They had the second pick in the draft. They picked up a player that they like very much with the second pick in the draft. So I have no issues with. It's a lot better than this. Hey, we'll give you Tyler Hero, said Miami. We'll give you Tyler Hero and this and that. No. That was not the trade to make. I think the only way they could have done slightly better is if they had dealt with Toronto, but I don't know what Toronto would have been willing to give up.
I don't think Toronto was willing to give up what was needed.
Yeah. They usually look at you cross-eyed when you start talking about Scotty Barnes, and I think that's what it would take. And
or OG.
Portland's not gonna, or somebody like that. But as far as Dame, let's just go back here. Dame, I have to say, as skilled as he is as a rapper, he's skilled. Nice wordplay, nice arrangements. He's good.
Agreed.
He's a whack salesman. He's a whack strategist when it comes to getting out. He is the only one. You try to find someone else who has tried to get what they wanted and failed like Dame did. Let me give you an example. James Harden was in terrible shape, still wanted to get out of Houston. He got it, got to Brooklyn. Was there for a minute. Hey, I want to get out of Brooklyn. He got it. Kevin Durant wanted to get out of, I know he's a free agent both times, but he got what he wanted. Kyrie Irving got what he wanted. He wanted out of Cleveland, got to Boston, wanted out of Boston, free agent, got it, goes to Brooklyn. Anthony Davis wanted to go to the Lakers. He got it. Kawhi wanted to get Paul George out of OKC. He got it. Dame, wait till late. Dude, you late. You wait until after the draft. Well, you know what? I'm going to see what they do on draft day. Then I'm going to make my decision about what I'm going to do. Okay. They don't do what you want them to do. You asked to be traded to Miami. Very specific, very public. Your agent screwed it up. He could have just been quiet. He could have been working quietly behind the scenes. He doesn't get Miami and winds up in Milwaukee. Lord. Sorry. Look. Milwaukee basketball-wise, great. He don't want to go to Milwaukee. He don't want to be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And he's not at the point where you can say, I'll just sit out. Dude, you got 3 years left in your contract.
Right.
You could say, Natalie, maybe Kawhi didn't want to go from San Antonio to Toronto, but he was going to be a free agent. He had 1 year.
He definitely lacks some leverage.
Chip, and he bounced. So Dame is the only one in the player empowerment era who made a demand. Only great player who made a demand that I want to go there and failed.
Well, I think something else is going on though, Michael. I don't think it's just that he lacked leverage. And I don't think that it's just that he and his agent mishandled this. I think it's also a reality check for Dame that he's not the level of star, nor does he have the cachet that some of those others who you just named did, right? Even Anthony Davis was able to pull it off, like not in the season that he wanted. You know, the Pelicans sort of did it in their own time, but he did get to the Lakers, right? You know, you mentioned Kevin Durant, you mentioned Kawhi Leonard, you know, you mentioned some real James Harden before, you know, what he is
Natalie,
now.
I'm not hearing a lot of love. There's gonna be a Natalie freestyle in a second from Dame. I mean,
I'm just saying, I don't know why he thought he had the ability to do this. I really don't. And I always said that. Like, I was just like, you have zero leverage.
Great player. Because he's a great
player, but he's still not the upper echelon. And so there's still going to be a limit on how much people are going to want to give up for him. He's a great player, top 10-ish probably, but he's still a small guard, right? Like there's still the things that you're pairing him with Giannis. You're not making him your centerpiece. So there's going to still be some things that people are not going to be willing to give up, right? Like Brooklyn, other teams, they might have been willing to maybe gut things a little bit more, you know, like if this was, you know, Giannis making this trade, right? And he would, with more time on his contract left, don't you think he would have gotten it done? Don't you think that he would have gotten to where he wants to go? As people, and that's just my only point. There's still going to be, as much as people want Dame and as much as great as he is, he's still a notch down from those guys. And so you also don't have the power to make those kinds of demands. This is what it is.
Natalie, let's get to it now. Let's get to it because I feel like we're dancing around the edge of the room. Let's just get to the center of the dance floor. There are going to be lines around you as you kind of like take the spotlight. Let's just get right to it. You don't see Dame the same way everybody else does, do you? You don't, because when you say top 10-ish, it sounds like you're a little reluctant. Most people would put him in the top 10. They might put him at 10, 8, 9.
Maybe.
At 10. Or
there's definitely
7,
9
8.
players you can name better than Dame. Definitely. Okay. Like 10-ish is fluid because there's a lot of different players who can compete for 10. That's why I said that. So it's not that like I wouldn't put him there. It's just there's others who can compete.
Do you think this is this your and I'm not saying this negatively, but is it like the team you follow, the team that team that has your heart is the Golden State Warriors. And I've said before, if you're a Warriors fan, you respect Dame, but you don't fear him. And it might be Dame, it may be unfair, it may be Dame, it may be the team. You take on Portland. Portland has never pressed you. Portland has never taken anything important away from you ever. And so you look at Dame, his numbers in the playoffs versus Golden State are extremely ordinary, far below his regular season average. Do you think that's what it is, that you've seen him in high pressure situations and how elite players and elite coaching can kind of mitigate some of the things that he does extremely well and make him like even like 85% of his normal self? Do you think that's where your lens is coming from?
It's okay to say that I have a little bit of a bias. Sure. Like I can acknowledge that, you know, and I want to be clear that like a good majority of Warriors fans love Dame because it's the Bay and he's from Oakland. So the Bay loves Dame. I am not from Oakland, so I don't share that same love. But so yes, there's a part of me, but it's not so much it's like like Dame can't get shine. It's the way that he's often catapulted and put into conversations. You know, Michael, you know the visceral reaction you had when it was even suggested that Steph could be in the category with Magic Johnson, and like you're like, no, and just dismissive. It's the same thing. It's like Dame is nowhere near Steph's level. And I need y'all to stop thinking and putting him in categories like he
nowhere near.
No, he's not. No, and I've broken this down many times on the show. We don't need to go back and revisit that, but that is what I believe. I've laid out the basketball reasons why I believe this, and I hate when people constantly say, "Oh, if he had Steph's team, he could do what he did." No, he can't, because he doesn't have Steph's capabilities or skills. So it annoys me, it irks me. But aside from that, because they do that with multiple players, so that it's not fair for me to take that out on Dame, what the media says, but it's also Dame and his former partner in crime, CJ McCollum. They just used to have a lot to say. They used to chat a lot. There was always a lot of little subtleties and things that I took as shade and that I didn't appreciate. You know, Stephen is too kind to call things out, not me. So I've never cared for that, any of that. You know, but I don't really have a personal issue with Dame. I do think he is a great player. I do think a pairing with Giannis is going to be incredible. I do think they will be one of the top 3 teams in the NBA, best in the East for sure, most likely. On paper, they look like it. I know that they're the title favorites. So, you know, but I also do think he gets a pass for things. It's similar to the way you used to talk about Jimmy Butler and how it's like when he plays well, it's like, oh, you know, and when he doesn't have a great game or when he doesn't show up, it just gets overlooked. LeBron, Stephen, they're not held to those standards at all, right? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, we're going to either treat him like those guys and we're going to critique him like those guys. And if we're not, totally then fair. I don't want him put into conversations with them. And that's all it is for me.
Totally fair. And I will say, and we'll talk about it when Vinny Goodwill comes on in a few minutes, that the day after, like we do this with trades all the time, and I want to get Vinny's take on it. As soon as a trade happens, we go, ooh, championship. And then we always miss something. I want to know what Vinny thinks we're missing, because we did that. Remember, Natalie, we were out there, Super Bowl. We're preparing for the Super Bowl. Yeah. And Phoenix acquires Kevin Durant. And we all say, oh, watch out. Oh, the Suns. Oh, not quite.
Right.
Not quite. I'm not saying you said it, but a lot of people did. Oh, the Suns, this is it. They made a move for Kevin Durant. Look at the firepower with Booker and KD and Chris Paul. And the day after, I'm not so sure. I know what Vegas says, but we'll talk about that later. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.